Okay, let's give our car a nice, smooth, flowing line from the front of the car to the rear of the car. Now, I know this is normally the front of the car, but I want to use this big area back here to put weight in. So I'm going to use this as the front. Some people will say, oh, it matters. I find that it doesn't. I built some really fast cars with this short section as the front. And we also want it to look really cool. So I'm going to use this as the front. So let's make a nice kind of a flowing line. Give it a nice little curve. That'll make a nice shape right there, I think. And then in the back, we'll kind of have it sweep up to a point, maybe. Soften these lines a bit. We want a nice point at the front to cut through the wind. We want the wind to travel over our body in a nice shape. And then we want to kind of let the wind come together in the back, nice and smooth. But now we want to give it some style and some flair. So I'm thinking we'll add some fins to the back. In fact, maybe we'll make this a Batmobile. So we would make some fins that kind of come down. And let it rise up to meet the top of our tire. And then down. So this line that I'm drawing right here will be the outer edge of the car. And this line here that I first drew will be the center line of the car. So this will become the area where the driver sits. So let's give it some definition. Let's define it. Yeah. And up front, we'll give the windshield just a little bit of attention there. I think that'll make a nice looking Batman. It'll go through the wind real nice. Now let's do the top view. So the top view, we're going to just transfer some of these intersection points. This will be the front of our cockpit area. This will be the rear. This will kind of be the end of where the bubble ends. Our fins are going to be out on the side, so our fins are going to be like this, looking down on the car. Now the center of the car, maybe we'll have it come in on the sides just a little bit to give it some body shape. And then in the front, we'll bring it in a little bit. We'll put some points on it in the front. Always remembering that we want the very front of our car in the middle to be as far forward as the front of the block, because that's what's going to trip the finish line sensor. And it has to be 3/4 of an inch wide per the rules in our racing community anyway. So let's bring that in like so. I don't like the looks of that. Let's change it. Now the fins in the back, we don't want to make them too narrow because they'll break off. So when I actually start carving this down, I'm going to leave these extra wide. And I don't want them to snap. We don't want them to be too thin because we're working with pine wood, which is grainy and it can break easily. So we'll leave the fins a little extra wide when we're carving it. In the back of the car, looking down, so this part of the body of the car, which kind of comes to a point here, we're just going to bring it in. So from the rear axle, we're just going to kind of give it a little bit of a tuck in the back. And we'll make it flat and straight across the back. Remembering that we need to use this area back here to hollow out the underside. So all this, when we get done, we're going to have to hollow out all this area. Let me show you from this direction. We're going to have to hollow out all this area eventually, and probably some in front of the axle. We're going to have to hollow out all this area back here to put weight. That's where we're going to hide all our weight in this car. And then we're going to hollow out all this to get rid of that weight. So we concentrate all our weight in the back of the car. So our balance point in the car is going to be somewhere around here. So if you sat this car on the edge of a table, for instance, it would balance right there. Yeah? So let's let this become our Batmobile. And to get a good idea of what it's going to look like, let's draw in what our wheels will look like. Now, since this is going to be an official Boy Scout racer, which you'll be building, we won't use the racing wheels. We will use the Boy Scout spoked wheels. We'll just draw in some X's to represent spokes. Let's say that's a good side view done. Now let's finish the top view. So we know this is going to be our canopy area here. So the canopy is going to be a little wider in the front. And it's going to flare out. Flare out and come back in. And then it's going to come to about a point in the back. We want it to be along the center line of the car, so that's roughly the center line of the car. So we want it to look something like this. Yeah? And then this will be that section here, that's the body color. So the canopy will be sort of a glass looking thing. Maybe it'll be silver or black. I doubt it'll be black because the car will be black. So it'll probably be silver. And that's what our car's going to look like, with one exception. We have to draw in Batman. I'm not sure how that logo looks. I guess it looks something like that. Yeah. And when you do any drawing, I like to put the name and the date on it. Today's January 1st, 2020. Happy New Year, everybody. There's our plan. Let's get started.